Hello and welcome to Edupedia World. The subject is spoken English, and in this session we're looking at things to do with travelling. Phrases that will help you to find places and get to places, to buy tickets, and to do it speaking clear and natural English. We'll start by talking about our plans, where we are going and what we are doing. You can use I'm going to or we're going to. These mean I am going to and we are going to. The going to means not moving but intention, will. I intend to. I want to. It is my plan to. So when I say I'm going to, what I mean is it's my plan. I'm going to spend the day in Sydney. I'm going to take the free bus. I'm going to go to the Hawkesbury River. We're going to fly out together. We're going to Canberra. To ask somebody, you can say, are you going? Are you going to Sydney? Are you going to go to Sydney? Are you going to fly out for London? You can also say, I plan to, and do you plan to? I plan to spend a week in Egypt. I plan to visit some friends. I plan to cross the Mediterranean. And to ask somebody else, do you plan to? Do you plan to spend the whole summer there? Do you plan to fly out this week? To fly out is to catch a plane. You can use I will for things which are not planned but which will happen. I will have a 4-hour stopover on my flight. I will be driving straight past the Eiffel Tower. I will be leaving tomorrow. To ask somebody else, you say, will you? Will you be stopping in Dubai? Will you have time to see the Louvre? To talk about something that you want to do but you are not sure if it will happen, you can say, I hope to. I hope to have time to see the Louvre. I hope to visit some of my friends in London. I hope to take a tour. To talk about things that might happen. To talk about things that you are not sure if they will happen or not. Things that are either good or bad, or neither good nor bad. You can say, I might. I might spend the day there. I might come back soon. I might find the time to visit some people. I might get stuck here. If it is important that something happens, you can use I have to or I need to. I need to check in. I need to make a reservation. Or we need to. We need to catch the train. Or I have to. I have to go now. I have to pack. You can also say, I must. I must be at the airport at 5 o'clock. I must remember to take my passport. Or we must. We must wait right here. We must find another way. You can use I'd like to say things, to tell someone what you want when you are travelling. I'd like to rent a car, please. I'd like to make a reservation. I'd like to buy a ticket. I'd like to stop here. You can use I don't want to if you know that you don't want something. I don't want to spend a lot of money here. I don't want to drive. I don't want to travel alone. To make a suggestion is to give your idea of what could be done. An easy way to do this, when you are discussing plans, is to say, we could. We could catch the train from here. We could walk. We could rent a bicycle. If it's something you really want to do, you can say let's. Let's take the mountain track. Let's catch a train. Let's call a cab. You can also use the words how about to suggest something. How about walking up here? How about meeting at the airport? How about taking a tour? To suggest what someone else might do, you can say, why not? Why not go out to the island? Why not catch the ferry? If you need to ask someone for information, first get their attention by saying, excuse me. If you need to find where something is, you can say, excuse me, where is the bus stop? Or where is the train station? Excuse me, where is the nearest cafe? Or if you are not sure that there is one of these things around, you can say, excuse me, is there a train station around here? Excuse me, is there a mechanic around? Excuse me, is there a mechanic near here? Excuse me, is there any accommodation on this street? To find the way to do something, you say, how do I? How do I find the bus stop? How do I use this machine? How do I get there? If you need help choosing between different things, you can say, which train do I take? Which road leads to the city? Which bus goes to the harbour? Is it can be used for general questions. Is it far from here? Is it that one? Is it expensive? Is it going to take very long? If you want to know the time that something happens, you say, what time? What time do we and what time do I? What time do we leave? What time do I have to return? What time do we reach Nepal? We also use what time do for other things when there are more than one. What time do the trains leave? What time do the gates close? If there is only one thing, we say what time does. What time does the ferry come in? What time does the shop open? To ask how much time is to ask how long. How long is the trip? How long until we reach the other side? How long is this going to take? How long would it take to drive? Questions to do with numbers and quantity use the word how. How often do the buses come through here? This means how many times. How often are the trains delayed? And talking about the money is how much. How much is a ticket to Rome? How much does it cost for a meal there? How much is a cup of coffee? We use can I or could I to ask for things. And we say please at the end to sound polite. Can I sit here? Can I get a receipt? Could I get a coffee? Could I get a coffee, please? We can say I'd like. For example, I'd like a ticket, please. I'd like a window seat, please. I'd like a return flight, please. You can say, do you have? Do you have a window seat? If you don't know whether there will be one. Do you have any seats left? Do you have a smoking section? To ask someone to do something, you can use can you. Can you open the window? Can you pass me that cup? Can you tell me what this means? Or could you? Could you hold this for me, please? Could you open the door, please? Or, could you please open the door? Could you please hold this? Could you write that down, please? You can make a request simply by saying the thing you want and putting please at the end. A short black coffee, please. A round-trip ticket to Brussels, please. 2 turkey sandwiches, please. Please is only used for asking. When you receive the thing you want, you say thank you. If you give something to somebody and they say thank you, you don't have to say anything. But if you want, you can say, you're welcome. To talk about things, you can say, I like walking in the country. I like travelling in a car. I like driving in the country. Or I really like the view. I really like the food here. Or even I love hiking through the forest. I love waking up to the sound of birds. You can say I don't like something, or I don't really like something, but you don't often say I don't love something. I don't like having to walk all the way back up the hill. I don't like driving on wet roads. I really don't like getting a flat tire in the rain. To say I really don't like means that you don't like it a lot. It's not something that you want to happen if it can be avoided. To say I don't really like means you don't like it, but it's not so bad. To ask somebody else, you say, do you like? Do you like fishing? Do you like the snow? To talk about something that somebody else really likes, it's easiest to make a tag question. You like driving in the wet, don't you? You really like Italian food, don't you? You love hitting that thing, don't you? You can also say, I prefer the country roads to the highways. This means I like the country roads more than I like the highways. I prefer driving to flying. This means I like driving more than I like flying. Or I can simply say, I prefer driving, when it is obvious that the alternative is flying. For example, do you like to fly? I prefer driving. Do you like seafood? I prefer chicken. We don't always agree on what we like or don't like, and this can sometimes make planning things difficult. Here are some useful phrases for telling somebody that you don't want to do what they suggest without seeming ungrateful or impolite. One way is to apologize for your negative response, and then to give a reason. For example, do you want to walk to the bottom of the gorge? You say, I'm sorry, I don't think I could. These shoes are already hurting my feet. Another way is to make your own suggestion, to offer an alternative. If somebody says, we could eat here, you might say, it's a bit expensive. We could look for another place just for a little longer. If you don't like something, you can suggest something that you do like. If somebody says, we could catch the bus, you might say, oh, it looks crowded. How about we get a taxi? Remember to sound positive. How about we get a taxi? Or, how about we keep looking for just a little longer? So remember, if you must give a negative response, apologize. I'm sorry, I can't do that. I'm sorry, that's not going to work. And then give a reason. Otherwise, you can make an alternative suggestion, make a different suggestion. Why don't we catch a cab? Or you can say what your preference is. I'm not keen on hamburgers. Let's have pizza. But remember to sound positive. That concludes our session. Thank you for being with us here at Edupedia World.